Richician!
Hey YouTube, Dog Magician 84 here, and I'm finally doing a Dark Magician deck update profile, which was requested, and there were changes since the last time I did one. In fact, I don't actually remember when I last did a Dark Magician deck profile update. It's been a little while. I don't think I had Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic in here. But anyway, yeah, you'll see any changes I made for yourself. The main deck is pretty much the same as it was before. Is one of these cards warped? Looks like it. So, naturally, we have 3 copies of Dark Magician. Like I keep saying, my favourite card in the whole game, and my ace monster. Yeah, one of the copies is, of course, my original copy, which I obtained 20 years ago, and it's been in whatever was in my main deck ever since. Well, except that period when the back of it was ruining the sleeves, and I had to stop using it. But I found a way to make it so I can use it again. So that's good. And then, of course, a single copy of Dark Magician Girl, not first edition, but still the original print from Magician's Force. I am so glad I got hold of this card before she skyrocketed in price, and now, well, regarding the value, I don't think I can count that high. Then 2 copies of Timaeus the United Dragon. One Mahard, still playing him, because there are ways to make sure I don't dead draw him in my hand, and it gives me an additional draw of Soul Servant. Then 1 Apprentice Illusion Magician. I know there should be a 3 of, but I didn't feel the need to. I'll still consider doubling her though. Then 3 copies of Magician's Rod, 1 Magikaribo, and of course 3 copies of Magician's Souls. Can you believe at this point it's been 4 years since this card came out? That's insane to think about. Sorry, just adjusting the camera. Yeah, and it was so expensive as well. I'm so glad I got my playset in that epic ace opening. I mean, it has been reprinted a couple of times since then, but I'm just happy to have the original copy. And then finally, the last monster, 2 copies of Illusion of Chaos. Okay, so that's it for the monsters. On with the spells. So for spells, I of course have 3 copies of Dark Magical Circle, and a single copy of Magician's Salvation, the sort of ultimate rare version. Now, I don't normally rarity bump, and I do like ultra rare, but Silver Cyclone did kindly give this to me as a gift, so I thought, why not just play it? Then Dark Magic Attack for back row removal, Bond between teacher and student, Dark Burning Magic. I still like having the option of these cards to nuke my opponent's board. Sometimes I have debated whether or not to take it out or even side it out, but can't really do without them, really. Then, of course, 3 copies of Soul Servant. basically acting as either a pot of greed, upstart goblin, or graceful charity, pretty much. Then 2 copies of Secrets of Dark Magic. I don't remember if I had 2 copies in the last profile I did, but I decided to double it because I wanted to increase my chances of getting out my fusions more easily. So I have 2 of this, 2 copies of Timaeus the United Dragon, because I need as many ways as possible to go into Dark Magician the Dragon Knight and protect Eternal Soul, and stop opponents taking advantage of the weakness. Speaking of Timaeus, still playing at least 1 copy of the Eye of Timaeus. I know I keep saying it, but I seriously wish it was errated so that it could be searched. The fact that it's not searchable is absolute BS. And then, of course, my usual trio of spell staples: Monster Reborn, Regeki, and Twin Twisters. That's it for spells. On with the traps. So for the traps, I'm playing 2 copies of Eternal Soul, my absolute favourite trap. I would like to play 3, but I just simply don't have the room. But luckily there have been situations where I didn't need a 3rd. Then Mirror Force, my 2nd favourite trap. Starlight Road is a great way to protect my back row from things like Lightning Storm, Twin Twisters and Harpy's Feather Duster. I feel like it's just a necessity, because like I keep saying, I hate that Harpy's Feather Duster was unbanned, and a few too many decks are main decking it, so, I need it to specifically counter Harpy's Feather Duster. Then, of course, 2 Solemn Strikes for monster effect negation, and finally a spicy tech, which I actually did run in my Legendary Hero deck for a while, back in the autumn of 2011, an idea that Neo Nexilus came up with, but again, I wanted to play it again, because it's another way to counter things like Harpy's Feather Duster, Twin Twisters, and Lightning Storm, but unfortunately I haven't had a chance to use it yet, and that is Judgment of Anubis. And yes, that is an original print and first ed. I love flexing it. Some might remember this very well, some probably don't even note what this does, but I will explain. Basically, I can discard a card to negate the activation and effect of a spell the opponent plays. That includes the effect of destroying spells and traps on the field, and destroy it. Then I can destroy a face-up monster the opponent controls and inflict damage equal to that monster's attack points. I can't remember if it's the original attack or whether it's based on whatever attack points it had on the field. Well, according to the errata, it says destroyed monsters attack on the field, and also it doesn't target. So yeah, it gets around anything with targeting immunity. If it has immunity from destruction, then, well, that's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, I wanted to play it. It hasn't come up at all yet, but I'm hoping it will, although now I'm debating whether or not to take it out and replace it with either a 2nd Apprentice Illusion Magician or a 3rd Eternal Soul. I don't know yet. Of course, that being said, I feel like multiple apprentices would kind of conflict with Magician's Souls. Because then there's nothing to search out, although it is still a free special summon. Well, not free, but an extra body I can get on the field, and an additional battle hand trap. So I don't know, but yeah, Magician's Soul is also why I don't play Magician Navigation anymore. The two cards just conflict with each other, which is a shame, because I do miss playing Magician Navigation. Also, it got dark in here all of a sudden. Now there's hair in my mouth, lovely. Anyway, that's the main deck on with the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I'm still playing 2 copies of Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. I know one is generally played, but like I know I keep saying it, but you know, new players might see the video. But yeah, I prefer having the option of 2, just in case one of them gets banished in some way. There have been some situations that did come up where I needed a second one. There was one game where I had it on the field, drew into Eye of Timaeus, played it, turned one into the other, and used Circle to banish something. And it was a problematic card. Then Master of Chaos, good old Amulet Dragon, and then Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic. Like I said, I don't remember if I actually had it in the last deck profile, but I'll read off the effect for those who aren't familiar with it. So it's a fusion that requires Dark Magician and a level 7 or higher dragon or warrior monster. And basically, it says, if your monster attacks a defense mode monster, inflict piercing damage to the opponent. And yeah, that applies to all my monsters, not just Knight of Dragon Magic itself. And also, once per turn, when your monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. And again, that applies to any monster, not just itself. So basically, it's a Dark Magician fusion version of Evil Hero Inferno Wing, but better. But Inferno Wing is still awesome. But not only that, if this card gets destroyed, I can special summon both Dark Magician and Gaia the Dragon Champion from my hand, deck, extra deck, or graveyard. So it instantly gives me 2 level 7s, and provided they stay on the field, it gives me a rank 7 play. Then good old Dark Paladin, the original Dark Magician fusion, still got him. Doesn't come up very much, but I still like having the option. And then, of course, 2 copies of the Dark Magicians, because it's one of the easiest fusions to go into. And finally, Gaia the Dragon Champion. This would be more of a flex if I was playing the secret rare version, but that, of course, is in a collection. And I don't know if I want to swap them around, really. And then, of course, following this, the only synchro I play, Stardust Dragon, my ultimate rare one, just to go with the Starlight Road. I mean, I can't physically synchro summon it, unless, of course, I have a level 7 on the field, and I wanted to use Monster Reborn on an opponent's level 1 tuner. But even then, I don't know if it's worth using Monster Reborn on that. Depends on the situation, really. And then there's only 2 Exceeses I've got now. Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon and number 11 Big Eye. Yeah, don't really have the room for Draco Sack and Ebon Illusion Magician now. I mean, if there was more space in the extra deck, I would still play them, but it's probably not necessary, since as time goes on, Dark Magician has become more fusion based than anything. Anyway, Lynx still got Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, my absolute favourite Link monster. Then Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. I don't know if I had this in here before, but yeah, it's a very handy Link monster, which I can use to take opponents' dark monsters, if need be, and then float for a dark with 1500 or less defense if it bites the dust. I mean, it would have been even more amazing like 2 years ago, because with it I could steal an opponent's Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer and use it for my own means, which is quite funny. And of course I could take Dragoon if somehow I am able to take it down, but then again I don't know if I would, because, well, that card is toxic as fuck. And finally, Artemis the Majestus Moon Maiden, something that I can just turn Magician's Rod into. I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but this was a suggestion by my good friend Webbers5, because he made a good point that I can make Magician's Rod out of this, and it is a light monster, which ups the number of light monsters that I can use to get back with Master of Chaos, so I can then use his effect to banish opponents' monsters by tributing a light and a dark. So yeah, that is it for the Dark Magician deck profile. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment, share and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. Yeah, hope you're enjoying Dark Magenuary so far. I know I am. Of course, at some point I do I want to bring back a couple of decks for some games. Like in deck incarnations that I haven't played for a while, and that is Dark Magician Kaiju mode and Dark Magician Ritual mode. Yeah, I'll do what I can to have some games with those very soon at some point. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Richician YouTube channel.